How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Titletown tonight. We are on episode 14, and this week is a week of synchronicities because I have knee surgery tomorrow, and part of my little deal that I have to go through is I have to use this clinical soap, and I gotta wash myself with it 2 layers night before and the morning of, and as that soap trickled down into my ass crack, I began to feel a violent burning sensation. And the only thing I could think about is how I felt about this Monday night football game versus the Eagles.
Yeah, felt about the same.
It was identical. If anyone out there has had clinical grade soap in their ass crack, please leave a like and comment. Let us know your experience and subscribe because I know your pain. Let us know your experience down below. But
that was I don't know. I for some reason highly enjoyed that game. I know that people were very disappointed, but 0-0.
Before we say anything, I gotta bring up one thing.
Okay.
I have knee surgery tomorrow, and there is an incredibly low amount of knee memes in my.
I was just thinking about that.
It was his one and only duty. Besides driving me there and filling up my ice pack,
and then making him food for the next week, and then all of that.
Yeah, all of that. But his only duty he had was to send me the Grinch. What that feeling when knee surgery is tomorrow meme. Maybe he's literally. Still got time. It's 7:12. He still got
I still
time.
have time, but Drake isn't going to be awake by the time.
He could. Send it to him right now. I can start. I can go. No. It's fine.
All right, fine.
Mid-pod, fine. So, if you're blind, the Packers lost to the Eagles 10-7, and this was an incredible defensive game by the Packers. Even the weaklings were still performing fairly well. Keyshawn Nixon only let up a 30-yard play from DeVonta Smith, which, he wasn't. It wasn't terrible coverage. I'm not going to shit on him just because he's been doing poorly in the past. Honestly, the defense deserves all the flowers for holding the Super Bowl champions to 10 points, which on its own is a feat in its own. But to keep DeVonta Smith and A.J. Brown in gear, but also limit Saquon Barkley to around 60 yards is pretty astounding.
I was having a good time. I was obviously disappointed by our offense, but it was almost like, I don't know. Seeing such an elite defense gives me so much hope.
It does.
Because, I know people are, actually, starting to not like the Packers as a Super Bowl contender whatsoever. I'm saying this continues to prove that we are a Super Bowl contender. And I know that sounds delusional as hell, but I think we really only have one problem, and that might be the offensive play calling.
And while I agree, I've been limiting my searches on the internet, trying not to click on videos talking about the Packers, especially from these nobody ESPN analysts. But it's crazy. I clicked on one, and it's like, Jordan Love is just an average guy. He's just an average quarterback. And I'm like, out of all games to really pick you to have this argument and to showcase it, this was not the game.
Yeah.
Both quarterbacks could not get it going. It is an elite Eagles defense. He did have a costly fumble, and there's no tiptoeing around that. He's had that was his second fumble of the season, which still isn't that bad in comparison to a lot of the top tier quarterbacks.
And Jalen Hurts also fumbled. So
exactly. Besides the fumble,
he had an overthrow.
His plays were. He made the most of the cards he was dealt. Yeah. And you could tell this game. I mean, I don't see Matt LaFleur being as conservative as he was in previous games.
Yeah,
but he wasn't being as diverse and splitting up the carries.
That 4th and 1 call was just absolutely atrocious. Trying to run up the middle, even though there was supposed to be like a Bo Melton screen or whatever. I'm like, are you really going to throw behind the line of scrimmage on a 4th and 1? What are we...
Yeah.
That's the most predictable possible thing, and that's the only thing they're going to get ready for.
Yeah. And it was confirmed that it was a Matt LaFleur call. Jordan Love did not call an audible. It was based on Josh Jacobs' testimony and just what I saw with my eyes. It felt like it was supposed to be an option pass and then was handed up the middle.
Yeah.
The fumble occurred when Josh Jacobs realized, oh, fuck, I'm cooked, and wanted to lateral it back to Jordan Love.
That makes sense.
And then he said, well, at that point, it's just backyard football. And for a play that you need at least a second and a half to develop before the ball comes out of Jordan Love's hands, at the minimum, this was a horrendous play call. They've had so much success when it came to those short distance situations earlier in the game.
Why don't you use the most unbreakable possible play against the team that uses it the most? Like, we use the quarterback slide or whatever, or like a sneak.
Yeah,
and it was
like
not the tush push. It was not the tush push.
Quarterback draw.
Commentators said it was the tush push. They lying. They don't know ball.
It was almost like a QB
There was no one behind Jordan Love. That's not a tush push. Anyway, I think he refused to use the tush push out of spite, which is just like, why? Like, put in Luke Musgrave and then run the tush push. That's like guaranteed first down.
Yeah,
basically.
Matt LaFleur said that they were calling some. They saw some looks earlier in the game and they thought it would throw them off guard. But also something that Josh Jacobs said, and something that you can actually revisit in the broadcast, the defensive lineman called out the play before it happened.
I saw that too.
Because the formation was run, and they all knew immediately it was going to be an inside run.
Which was, what a dumbass play call. I keep saying it.
I think the most despicable play call, or lack thereof, was the 2 4th and 5s in the second half.
Oh, yeah, no kicking.
That could have been, like, I believe a 57-yarder both times. So they didn't have faith in Brandon McManus then, but they gave him a 64-yarder to end the game. This is what I think Matt LaFleur has trouble with, and what makes him look like a wuss is he can clearly show where his confidence lies on any side of the ball, and he won't ever lean on it until it's absolutely necessary. Like, for instance, looking at the Panthers in the Cleveland game, 25% of Jordan's passes were behind the line of scrimmage. Yeah. But until the end of the game, when they're like, oh, shit, we're actually going to lose because I was playing with my food for too damn long, then he starts hucking it downfield. Yeah. And then you're relying on Jordan Love to try to play Aaron Rodgers and extend the play and try to make something work. Yeah. It's a horrendous play call. I mean, we've talked about this in the many hours that have passed since the game, but it makes sense for Matt LaFleur to focus on the big picture and relinquish play calling.
I mean, it's about time. Like, the 3 losses we've had, the defense let up 13, 16, and 10. Mm-hmm. You're telling me we lose all of those games? You got to give up the play calling duties because it is obviously a weak point on offense. It's not the quarterback. It's not the running back. The O-line is good enough. Yeah. The wide receivers this week did not look very good, but the previous weeks were good enough.
We're so dwindled all around. Yeah. Alton Jenkins out with it's a broken ankle. It's a fracture, which based on my limited research and my extremely limited mental or
brain
clinical medical knowledge, it looks like a better timeline for him to come back this season as opposed to any form of torn ligaments. Does not seem like there was any damage to the ligaments at all. It's good. So that's a good thing to keep in mind. Obviously, I mean, towards the end of the game, we have Bo Melton and Savion Williams on our wide receiver core at all times. Yeah. We were running 3 wide receivers most of the time towards the end of the game. It just felt like
there was a lot of drops. And Christian Watson had a ball that he didn't even turn around to catch, hit him right in the helmet, try to play defense.
Yeah, I kind of get it.
Well, he literally tweeted it himself. He should have caught that.
Yeah.
You should look for the ball. That is a dime.
He still had a good game, though. I think when it comes down to targets, we got to look at Dontavian Wicks. He only
that was nice.
half of his targets.
Yeah.
4 for 8. Bo Melton was like 2 for 6.
I don't think it's fine. I don't think it's good to look at targets because that means like nothing. Because Jordan Love could have thrown it way in their direction. I think you got to look at drops specifically because, like, Justin Jefferson this week had 18 targets. Like 10 of those were throwaways.
Yeah.
So it looks like terrible on his sheet.
It's definitely fair. I think out of all of the times to look to do a end around or jet sweep, we didn't pick any of the good times to do so. I feel like we got all the tools. We have all the tools in the box.
Yeah.
But we don't know when to use them or how to use them. It's like giving an amateur. I don't want to call Matt LaFleur an amateur by any means. I don't want any part of this because, I mean, first 2 years going to the NFC Championship twice, there is now somewhat of an argument towards his quarterback. 2 of the
greatest offensive players, some of the greatest of offensive players on your team of all time, with DeVonta and Aaron.
Yeah,
so
it is kind of getting to that point where you're wondering if
this is exactly what it feels like with Mike McCarthy. Unfortunately,
yeah. But this is kind of going. I mean, not to the same extent.
I don't think we should
Bill Belichick and Tom Brady comparison when Tom left. It's like, was it Bill Belichick or was it Tom Brady?
Yeah, but he also took the basically rookie Packers squad to 9-8 and make it to the playoffs, and then beat the Cowboys in the wild card.
Yeah, but he also had to depend on Jordan Love to get red hot,
but that was good play calling.
It was.
That was better play calling than.
But if you have a head coach that progressively gets more predictable over time, that's because they're not evolving.
But think about that 2023 season. Nothing like this. Nothing like this in play calling. And, you know, we were upset when they scored 13 against the Broncos. We're like, what the hell? Yeah. Like, this
that
is...
was a horrendous game to watch.
Yeah, because Tristine... Never mind. But, yeah, it was... It's fair to think about the fact that he's too comfortable with our defense almost, where he makes play design decisions based on the fact that they're going to get the ball back almost. I don't know. It
just feels so demoralizing for a defense that is busting their ass.
When they were in the I'm trying to say something, but when they were the underdogs, they were slinging that thing because they're like, oh my God, they're thinking they have to score more to win this game. They're going to have to be risky.
Yeah.
But now they're like, we can be more conservative. And, usually it's like, okay, that's less injury. And now what? It's not been less injury. It hasn't. It hasn't changed injury. It's been worse. The past 2 weeks has been terrible.
There's a certain level of irony to this because when Ed Policy came in, he did not decide to give anyone a contract extension on the coaching staff. And I would argue that this is Matt LaFleur's worst performance this season. And
7 points doesn't look good.
I don't know if it's comfortability, or an overindulgence in that comfortability, like you're describing, or if he's relying too much on statistics, or he's not really playing circumstantial football. I feel like either he's looking too much into the patterns and the stats and not having a little bit of that Dan Campbell that is an emotional guy, an emotional play caller, and he's only relying on a conservative play calling set to hedge every bet that could be put against him going into the future.
Yeah, we can only see, I think, this week against the Giants, I hope they start airing it out. I think they just need to revamp their entire offensive play calling, which is really, really bad idea typically in the middle of the season. But if you're scoring 7 points, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? You gotta try something new. It's not working. You're not gonna have success in the playoffs.
I'm interested to know your take on how much more of McManus's injury do we take before we
I
sit him
think
out?
I still been saying that it is the coach's fault for letting him in too early. Because obviously the player is gonna want to play. Like,
Yeah.
it's just not you as a coach. You got to realize that and make the decision yourself, or medical staff make the decision. Lucas Haversick would have been able to go out there for those field goals is the difference, and that's a 9-point spread. Like, that's a 9-point gap because the 64-yard field goal could have been possible.
Yeah. 100%.
The 57 and the 59-yarder, and then we went for it on 4th and 6 instead.
That was crazy.
It's just like that is such a major disadvantage. And to not understand that your kicker can't make those field goals it's dysfunctional.
I would also like to point out the one play that I really think Jordan could have nailed and could have made this a little bit of an easier play. Honestly, we shouldn't have even been in this situation on that. Yeah, exactly. He should have just threw it on a line. I don't know what the point is with even putting a little bit of an arc on that ball, but we shouldn't have even been in that circumstance in the first place. The Eagles kind of gave us like a free drive.
Yeah, what the hell were they doing throwing it to A.J. Brown at the end of the game?
I couldn't tell you. That was a really, really, really
Nick
interesting
Sirianni
decision.
was trying everything he could do to lose that game.
Apparently, the Eagles are very, very upset with their offensive coordinator. It's like a known thing that everyone hates. They hate their offensive coordinator. So
well,
I
that's
wonder how much of
obvious
that goes
because
into
nothing on their offense has been successful. Like, Saquon's been buns. The AJ Brown's upset. DeVonta might even be their number one receiver right now on stats.
Stats wise.
So
yeah, it seems that
it's
way.
like, I don't know. I get why fans would be upset. 10 points, I would be upset. But as a Packer fan, you got to be more upset.
Yeah,
7 points.
It was an impotent loss on all accords. Defense played out of their minds, but that's about it. One thing that did just pop into my head, and this is wild territory I'm getting into here. But on the off chance that Matt LaFleur's contract isn't extended, what do you think a Jeff Hafley head coached Packers team would look like?
That'd be cool. I think
he's probably the biggest candidate for head coaching jobs coming out of this year, in my opinion.
Would LaFleur still be on the team?
I could see him. I don't even know if I'd want him offensive coordinator. I could see him being offensive coordinator. He has good plays. He just doesn't know when to use them.
Yeah.
So if he's not the play caller, but he can coordinate, I think that would be a better look for him. But I don't
it'd
think
also
he's going
be
to take
demoralizing.
that.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to take that.
He would be upset. He would want to go to a different team and try to head coach somewhere else.
I don't think that. Well, I guess we're gonna have to see what Ed Policy's management style is like.
Yeah,
Because if it is like he is willing to, this is a writing term, but kill his babies. Like it is a writing term.
For good writing, you got to kill babies if you're going to make a good story.
It's a sacrifice. It's a sacrifice.
Yeah.
But if he is, Jeff Hafley has done such a great job defensively, and we've already built a persona around the Green Bay Packers going into this as a bruising defensive team. And unfortunately, with Asante Samuel signing with the Steelers, it does not look like we're getting anywhere closer to that identity.
Which I, again, didn't think was necessary, to be honest. Like, I think if we were going to focus on anything, it should be our offense.
Yeah, but the Eagles, the one thing I'm not giving them credit, right? But Jalen Hurts is not a passing quarterback. This season, he's been getting hotter.
He's
in the passing
15
game.
touchdowns, 1 pick.
Yeah, but they are a physical running team.
Yeah, but
first.
he's still still top 10.
I don't think that their identity relies on Jalen Hurts' passing.
This season, it's kind of had to. I mean, in the later part, because Saquon hasn't done anything.
I mean, he's turning up, though. I stick on my ground saying that I think other teams that are more pass-heavy will be able to pick on our defense if we're not scheming to optimum
the only
standards.
really bad game we had was the Cowboys. That was it. And
The Panthers was pretty terrible.
bro, we let up 16 points. And that was 2 touchdowns by Rico Dowdle.
No, I'm thinking of the Cardinals game. I think the
Cardinals game makes sense. Jacoby Brissett has been good in every other position,
That's exactly
every other
what I
game.
mean. They don't have a running back. They've had to lean pass heavy, and they were considering that they were limited at that position in the running back. It shouldn't have been as much of a competition in the passing game as it could have.
Yeah, they finally lost by more than one possession this week.
Cardinals fans are in shambles right now.
Congratulations. All right, welcome back. So we had some interesting news happen right before the episode started. So about a week ago, the Eagles traded for
The Eagles
traded for Jair Alexander for a 6th-round pick. I was like, damn, he got traded for a bag of potato chips. Thinking like, wow, the Packers really made the right move. And he just said that he's going to step away from football to focus on his mentals and his physical health. I think that is probably smart. I'm thinking like emotionally, how would you handle getting injured, doing all the exercise to come back and then getting injured and just repeating that process over and over again? Has to be frustrating. It has to be mentally deteriorating.
Absolutely. I mean, like any Packers fan, when he was healthy, he gave a zest to the defense that we couldn't have otherwise. There's not a personality on our team right now that can even mimic the impact that he had for us in that locker room presence.
Yeah.
And he was one of my favorite corners ever, just for the sake of how not only how well he played, but how he carried himself and that energy.
He might not retire though.
He might though.
Yeah, he might.
He might. I
can see it.
I feel like with how chronic this knee issue has been, it's not. I can't say it's like a Todd Gurley situation, but
it's like a Todd Gurley situation.
It's not quite the same in terms of what the problem is, but when you when your whole position is dependent on how fast you can be and how much you can switch on a dime, and you have a knee that needs to be drained almost weekly over and over again, and to have all of that energy just to be, like you said, dwindled to nothing, and you have to build yourself back up over and over again with little to no return. And not only that, but have to move like twice within a few years. There are so many things that are working against you in that respect, and I completely understand how this can impact his mental health, because as a corner, you're talking your shit.
Yeah.
Right? So like when you go down, everyone's going to be talking shit about you because you didn't show up. Yeah,
and it's like I think it's more that he's letting himself down by not being out on the field. I can only simulate that emotion. I feel like it would be so depressing to constantly be injured, and like all of that effort to go back knowing that through history you're probably going to get injured right away. Like it would be mentally exhausting, and I get why he would step away from football.
And with like even my limited experience with a torn ACL, I mean, I've been living with it for 4 months now. I don't have not even a modicum of the same athletic ability or need for an athletic ability as a professional athlete.
Dude, you gotta squat down sometimes.
But even just day-to-day tasks, when you are hindered in your movement, and even if you're having a bad day and that one knee, like your knee slips out, slips back in, it pops, and it's just like that's the last thing you want is like to be immobilized. But not only to do all that work over and over and over every day, showing up for rehab, on top of all of the strength and conditioning you're supposed to be doing as an NFL athlete, while you're not getting any of the reward of playing the game you love.
Yeah.
That has got to be one of the biggest mental tolls that an NFL player has to deal with.
Yeah, I can't even, the only comparison I have is so juvenile. It's hilarious. It's like when I twist my ankle playing basketball and that's my only outlet. That's the thing, though. Very upsetting.
You got to think about a lot of these players, and I'm not speaking for Jair specifically. I don't know a lot about his childhood, but
yeah,
the game of football is more than a sport. It was a means to express themselves and potentially even get themselves out of a terrible situation.
Yeah.
Something that has served them as much as they've served the game for their entire lives. For some of these people, that is all they've ever done. They don't know anything about themselves. There's so many studies that come out about retired athletes facing this incredible deep depression because they didn't explore themselves outside of the game.
Makes sense.
Now, I'm not necessarily saying this about Jair because I don't know him personally or anything like that. But all I can say is, from a Packer fan, from an NFL fan to a human being, if by some grace of God, Jair Alexander is watching this, I wish you the best of luck. You deserve all the happiness in the world, and you've put your body and your soul on the line, and I respect the hell out of you. Just keep working at whatever you're doing, and you'll be all right. But
that's the only positive sports review about Jair Alexander in recent memory. People like to shit talk him so badly, especially on ESPN. I'm so tired of
ESPN.
Yeah, it's been really bad lately.
Ugh.
And Stephen A. looking like he's aging 10 years per year.
Honestly, Stephen A. is the only person on ESPN that I feel like stays from year to year. I feel like I'm seeing a new cast every time.
Yeah, but Stephen A. is also on 10 different shows, and it's he's not even there in person for most of them because he has to do something else. Mm-hmm. And then, last year he's playing solitaire in the finals, game 7. It's like holy shit.
At what point do you stretch yourself so thin that you just lose the love of sports?
Yeah,
because that's what that kind of looks like.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a money farm rather than an enjoyment. It really is, and it's soulless to watch. And I don't know.
This is why you guys watch us, because we're not soulless bastards that are just trying to make money off of you, unless if you give us enough subs and views for us to advertise gambling.
But
to you.
No matter what, we'll still enjoy doing it. So,
exactly. We do this for the love of the game, literally and figuratively. And it is really depressing to see just how far this almost political commentary has gone in sports.
Yeah.
It's not even about alternative takes as much as it is more rage bait to manufacture some form of argument.
Yeah.
And it's all about audience retention. If you can keep someone hooked with rage, which these days is far more often to come by and something to stick around for than a positive measure, that's going to be exploited through the ass. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, with all that being said, I just think people, you know what? If you see an NFL player out there, they are actually a good human being and they're doing poorly, sure, talk your shit. But beyond that, you're just exposing a egotistical part of yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just very soulless. Like I said, everything with ESPN, I think the only thing that's soulful on ESPN is Pat McAfee. You can tell they love doing their job.
Yeah, thankfully they got their rules back, or they got the restrictions.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people, there's now people don't like Pat McAfee in the ESPN building.
Don't matter. That's probably a good sign.
It's your most successful show. Maybe take notes
by a lot.
I don't know. Take notes.
Yeah. But I wanted to talk about, because as a Packer fan as a whole, this week has been bad because Thursday was the Steelers and
oh my God,
who did they lose to? They only scored 10.
Oh my God, we're casuals.
Yeah, we watched the game. Chargers. Yeah, that
was horrendous.
It was very sad to see, because that was the first truly bad performance I've seen Aaron Rodgers have in a long time. it was before he threw that touchdown at the end of the game. They showed in garbage time, obviously they showed the graphic. It was the second worst game in his career from QB rating and completion percentage.
Damn.
It was like at 45 or something, and it was it was very bad. Again, he has shown time again that he is good enough to play at a high level in the league, but this week was clearly a bad game.
Yeah. Based on just the things that I saw, though, like, I think a lot of his throws could have just been tweaked a little bit, and they would have been fine. He just overthrew the damn ball. He put too much air on it, but
many times
he had the decision-making down.
Yeah.
He didn't lose a step in any form of physicality or really his mentals. It was just a cognitive to muscular mistake.
Yeah.
It's something that I think could be tweaked.
Yeah, I always cheer for Aaron Rodgers. This guy was tired. You fell asleep. You fell asleep during the game. So I was out here watching the game because I'm a dedicated ball watcher. This guy is a fraud.
I just fall asleep. Damn it, I'm getting old.
He said his favorite sleeps are football sleeps. So, but that game was boring. It was very sad to see that was so bad. It was so bad. I was like, that was just Aaron Rodgers' fault. There's no one else to blame than Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
And it was multiple times.
Yeah, I mean, Mike Tomlins doesn't seem to be swaying his opinion on him.
Obviously,
you gotta have.
It's one bad game.
Yeah, he's as a head coach too. You gotta.
He's
have confidence.
41 years old. You gotta, I think he'll bounce back. Also, it's a short week, so he's 41. No, he's 40. I don't remember. 10. They'll have 10 games though in between. Because as a 41-year-old, I'm sure Thursday night football games after playing a Sunday football game is not easy to do. Because that's a 4-day break, and I'm pretty sure they played on Sunday night football.
Yeah.
So that's literally 48 hours or something. No, more than that. I don't. 72 hours. And that's not enough for a recovery time for a 41-year-old. And I think that's
Pop's got to get his nap in.
I actually think that's a legitimate reason.
Definitely. You look at Joe Flacco at the end of his games, he looks like he needs a nap. Stat.
Get the icy hot.
Yeah. Get the cool compress.
Yeah. I think a lot of people forgot that game's
Centrum Silver.
The game's coming up.
Yeah.
The icy hot bowl number 2.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, 2 in 1 season.
Yeah.
This season has been electric.
Yeah. Even if he was on the Browns, there would have been 2 icy hot bowls.
Yeah. Really bizarre. Really bizarre.
Yeah.
But you wanted to talk about something with the Patriots.
Yeah, I think Patriots beat the Bills earlier.
Yeah.
This season, which was impressive, and I didn't really give them any recognition because.
Yeah, what did you say last week?
And I'm standing by this. They have by far the easiest schedule in the league. It's nasty how easy it is. But really the only competition they had was the Bills, which just 2 times because they're in the division, the Ravens, and then the Buccaneers. But so far, 8-2.
Yeah. The Buccaneers
beat the Buccaneers.
That's a feat. To have the Bills and the Buccaneers beat both of them, you are now an official contender in the AFC, which is probably the first time we've said that.
So the Dolphins are official contenders. That's what I'm hearing from this guy.
Get the fuck out of
here. The Dolphins did whoop the Bills' ass this week.
I don't even. Just that feels like vomit worthy.
Yeah.
If I was a Bills fan, I would be hiding in a corner right now.
Yeah, that's very bizarre. Very bizarre thing. And then, Chiefs fans talking shit. And I'm like, that just means the Dolphins are better than the Chiefs because the Bills literally beat the Chiefs last week.
Oh my God.
But they're 26.5 points per game, which is 8th out of 32. Solid. But when you realize... Oh, yeah, points against, 19.2, so that's 6th. They're 9th in passing yards and 16th in rush. So middle of the pack. But then you realize their schedule consists of absolute bumps. So it's
if they have the ability to take down these top tier teams, it sounds like some easy wins to try to get some home field advantage come the postseason.
Yeah. I mean, like, let me review the teams they've played: Raiders, Dolphins, Steelers, Panthers, Bills, Saints, Titans, Browns, Falcons, Buccaneers, Jets, Bengals, Giants, Bills, Jets, Dolphins.
Yeah, some of those teams are trap teams, I think. I think some of those teams definitely are sneaky.
Jets are not going to win. Bengals not going to win. Giants not going to win. I mean, maybe, I don't know. The Giants seem like a trap team, and then they lose.
I mean, let's see if Jackson Dart fucking plays.
Yeah, but
Speaking of which, Brian Dable
got fired.
Got his ass out of there.
Yeah,
with how much QB designed runs he's had, with how many.
That's not even the problem.
I know, but Jackson Dart has the most concussion checks.
Yeah.
Per game in the NFL.
Makes sense.
For a quarterback.
Makes sense.
And he's still running them up the middle like, oh, we don't have Scatterboo, we got the next best thing right here. Honestly, Jackson Dart was a prayer in Ryan Dable's bag if Jameis Winston and Wilson did not work out to try to save his job. That he did put together a good draft, but holy God. To think that this guy was coach of the year, I mean, it's the Matt Nagy effect.
I mean, he can't lose 3 games when you're up by more than 10 points in the fourth quarter consecutively. Keep in mind, they were up by 19 with 10 minutes left in the game against the Broncos. They lost that game. I think he should have been fired then and there, and yeah. I'm glad they didn't stick with a Brandon Staley situation where you're just really hurting your chances.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how the hell they value Russell Wilson more than Jameis Winston still.
I don't either.
He is so uncomfortable against pressure. It's disgusting to watch. Yeah. It's like he throws it away every single play. It's like, why? And then
he just looks so tense in the pocket.
He's so tense, so uncomfortable, not making the right decisions. It's like, get the taller guy out here that's gonna sling that thing.
Yeah.
He's not gonna give a shit.
Wan'Dale Robinson gonna be the receiving yard leader by the end of the year.
Yeah, Jameis Winston is, I hope, will be the starter, but probably not, unfortunately.
2014 Pookie.
Yeah. I think Jameis should be the starter, but back to the Patriots. Do you think, how far are they going to get in the AFC playoff race?
I think it's going to really come down to how the cards fall, who beats who, because there are some favorable matchups, and there are some ones that could flip-flop either way. I could see
the Ravens are going to probably make the playoffs.
The floor is the divisional round, I think. I could see them getting past. I'm going to put it. Floor is the divisional round.
I could totally see them losing in the wild card.
I don't think they're going to.
They're not going to be the 1 seed, right? Surely. They're up there. Bro.
You're the one who said that the easiest schedule.
That's true. If they're the 1 seed, obviously the divisional is their floor.
But I mean, that's also assuming that they win all of those games.
Yeah.
So I think that's still a pretty broad.
It's just
pretty narrow prediction.
I trust in Vrabel. I still can't believe the Titans fired him. That was hilarious.
The Titans are a laughingstock poverty franchise, so you can't really expect anything out of them anymore.
He literally had nobody on his offense and still putting up 20 points plus. He had Derrick Henry, and that was it.
Brought Ryan Tannehill to the
division. No, was it? No, it was conference.
Yeah,
it's conference championship.
Mm-hmm.
Insane. He's got a really good defense to go with. I think Drake May seems elite, and I want to say he's elite, but I'm not quite ready to put him in a top 5. I get he's an MVP. I would put a
top 5, but I'd say top 10 for sure.
Yeah, right now for sure. I think he's better than Jordan Love right now.
Statistically,
confidence-wise, it seems like Drake May just.
Mike Vrabel is another type of coach like Dan Campbell that just puts the confidence out there and he makes it known.
Dan Campbell took up play calling duties last week, which is pretty crazy considering that they were the number 1 offense in points scored.
Yeah.
Disappointing. Get that shit out of here.
Not enough. Jameer Gibbs needs another touchdown.
And then they score 44 against the Commanders. And I'm like, no. I'm scared.
That game was actually pretty insane. We'll go over that I'll go over that really quickly. I mean, you look at De'Ron Payne getting ejected. You're looking at Kinlaw throwing a punch. You're looking at your Trey Amos getting injured. I haven't seen any updates on that, but just if you're a Commanders fan, you saw a quick rise. You saw a flash in the pan, and now it's dwindling down to nothing. I will admit that my prediction of the Commanders not falling too hard would have definitely flopped, but also at the same time, I did say barring injury. I think if
it's
the
definitely
team was healthy,
injury.
The team was healthy.
Every prediction you make is barring injury, but
yeah,
the threshold has definitely been passed of an injured team. It's a very injured team.
Yeah. Yeah, that team is basically
they don't have their quarterback. They don't have their running backs, plural. They don't have their starting wide receivers. They don't have both of those. They lost Marshawn Lattimore,
Trey
Amos, and more that I'm not thinking of because I'm casual. But oh, man, Commanders fans definitely got it worse than us right now.
Yeah, so. I hope they can pull something out just for a nice coast for the rest of the season. But until we get to that point, thank you all so much for watching this episode of Titletown tonight. We've made it 14 weeks of making content for you all. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. We really appreciate it. If you did get this far, you might as well like and subscribe. It's free. It helps the channel out. We very much appreciate it. But until next time, we'll talk to you later.